All right. Uh, yeah, so a little bit rude here. I fell asleep in my chair because I just eaten lunch. Like everything today has been slow. And I need to get back to being on time and not staying up late and all that stuff. Um, Now I have to remember where I was at. Put my notes. Um, did I end up finishing doing the subplot, or was I still thinking that up? But still trying to figure that out, wasn't I? Hmm. So we're back to that again, huh? Subplot. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's pull up. Oh, you know the thing. I can never find it. Uh, where is? Shouldn't be that far up. Oh, there you go. Just a moment. Always gets me. Always. Okay, so what was this? Secret rivalry in agenda. Three is not a subplot. It's actually what happens anyways. One and two sound pretty good. However, two actually sounds more like it should be part of the main plot. Uh, with getting rid of red being the first part of it. Midpoint might be where he takes control of the wolf pack and then decides he wants to strengthen the curse by seeing someone who has magic, like a wizard or something. Subplot. Uh, Number one can still be subplot material. Okay, so we're kind of still stuck on with giving him a. Hmm, might change Kurt's main plot to find a way to strengthen the curse so that the werewolf form could even be more powerful, possibly wanting to take control of Max's whole operation. Kurt's subplot might involve secretly turning werewolves against other violent, puts Kurt in charge. Kurt wants to become the new leader, so he makes a deal with Violet to get rid of long-standing problems she's had with Red. She'll make Kurt the leader of the pack if he disposes of Red, which he does. Hmm. Can you hear everything okay? I guess I can hear everything okay, so I guess that means you should be able to. Anyways. Oh, got someone in the chat. Greetings. Um, I don't know how new this person is. I don't know how you even pronounce that. Hmm, interesting. Okay, so he wants to strengthen the curse. He doesn't want to get rid of it. Um, yeah, mm, I don't know why this is such a hard thing because a lot of times um, I don't have any problem coming up with things, but this is a little bit different this time, I guess. Um, he wants to get rid of the lead. He wants to become the new leader, and that's his. Hmm. I'll have to think about that for a second. I mean, obviously, I gotta think about it for like ever, but uh, sorry, today is gonna be more of a dead day, kind of. I think sometimes how things go. I had to go to the store today and pick up some stuff because there's a pipe, uh, something connected to the house, and I had to fix it, and I still don't know if it's fixed now. So I'm all out of whack for today. I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna stop. It's just I need to get the juices going here. I need to get the old mental faculties getting ready. Um, See, the main part about him becoming the new leader, hmm, wanting to strengthen the curse. Hmm. You could actually ask him if we would improve it so that they become more powerful. I don't think that Max would do that. It would do anything that would sabotage himself in the future. So that might not be what he would do. Um, hmm. If I can just get this done, then I can start putting it into the rest of the other outline. Um, hmm. If I have this extra thing about wanting to strengthen the werewolves so they're even more powerful. Uh, that might add some extra complexity, which this doesn't currently have right now. Hmm. Let's bench the let's table the subplot for the moment, and let's just develop this as a plot line for the main plot, and see if I need to add anything to strengthen it, or if I see if we can do it. Okay, so okay, main plot outline. Okay, the inciting incident. What are we what are we gonna have here as an inciting incident? Well, I suppose the first thing would be when Red comes to visit the werewolves. Uh, that could be the thing that puts everything into motion, right? They have to talk about. Interesting. So Kurt could always want to have been in charge of the pack. However, he never saw the chance to do so, so he's just biding his time until something happens, which this is what happens, right? Okay. Okay. Red. Here. I guess I can put her full name. Scarlet. Red. I look really out of it, don't I, on screen, huh? It's kind of funny, though, as I'm looking at myself. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit tired. I was a little bit tired earlier, but I don't feel as tired as I look on there on the monitor. So, goofy, huh? Scarlet Red Clover shows up. It's gonna be. They're gonna have a village or something, right? Uh, in the werewolf village. Okay. Just her showing up can cause quite a stir. Uh, Kurt realizes this may be the moment he's looking for in order to take over the wolf pack. Okay, so here's the thing. He doesn't like Red very much, obviously. He's the one that actually ate Grandma. So he has history with Red. Um, he's maybe the moment he's been looking for, as he's been wanting to take over the wolf pack. I know wolf pack isn't one word. Isn't one word. It's two words. I get that, but I'm writing it as one word. Uh, he also recognizes. I don't know if I should put all of this into. Let's see something here. Let's just say Kurt recognizes her right away and figures this might be a good time to take over the pack. Okay, so her showing up is just kind of the big bombshell, kind of the thing that sets everything off here for Kurt. And he's been wanting to take over the pack for a while, so he decides that this has got to be the time here. But then he's got to figure out how to do it. So let's figure out a first plot point. What's a good first plot point here? Does he make a deal with Violet like right away? Because if he does, yeah, okay. Um, okay, Redot shows up. Here, she offers the werewolf leader Rottweiler. I want to call him something like Rotgut or something. Something kind of meaner. A chance to get rid of the curse that's been keeping them wolves for generations. Okay. So basically, the big deal is she offers them a chance to. Okay. Um, okay. The plot points are usually turning points, so this has got to kind of move things into a new direction, I think. It's supposed to be. Uh, since Kurt hears that Max is back in town, then he figures Violet may also be back in town. He remembers the rivalry between Red and Violet, so he decides to leave the village and meet her and go talk to her. Okay, I admit that's kind of a weakish first plot point, but it is a plot point. It is a thing that's driving the story forward, right? Because Red shows up, and then let's see. Anyway, she shows up and starts handing them the spiel about how she never actually hunted their kind, and that Max is offering a way to remove the curse if they join his army. Now, Kurt knows how much Violet and Red hate each other, so he decides he's gonna go and speak to her. And that's when he leaves. Actually, this is a good time, or this is a good way. When I was writing in the first place, I kind of intentionally left gaps in between the plot points so that that would be filled with gameplay later. This kind of sounds like the same thing here. Like I could leave a gap in here, kind of. So in the game, you'll have to actually go find her. Um, at some point in the game, I don't know about this choose your own adventure style first thing because this is some of these things are going to end up in that plot outline I was working on. Um. Anyways, um. So now we have to think of a midpoint here. Maybe there's some bartering going on. Maybe it's not just becoming leader of the pack. Maybe he goes and talks to Violet and says that uh, he wants to become leader of the pack, and then she comes up with the thing about he's got to do something for her, which is he's got to get rid of Red, and then uh, maybe he says, but uh, he also wants the curse strengthened. Since Red was talking about being able to remove it, why not make it more powerful so that the werewolves can be more powerful? And maybe Violet agrees to that. I don't know if she would agree to that as an extra deal, unless she gets something extra, maybe. Or does he just say, "You're also going to give me this, or else I'm not going to do anything"? Maybe that can be a thing. I'm not really sure. It's kind of weird. I don't feel that sleepy, but I look really sleepy when I look at my picture in the window. It's kind of funny. Huh. Oh, hey, wait. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so that actually would be an okay for a midpoint. Um, maybe this agreement here. Um, she might want something extra though. What other than just having Red removed? She's gonna actually give him a spell that his uh will enhance his abilities. I don't know. I have to think about it. What kind of thing could she want? Maybe this is what I should ask ChatGPT to give me some suggestions on. Let's see something here. Okay, so I'm working on the main plot for Kurt, and I have a few things to start with. The exciting incident is when excuse me, Fred shows up in the werewolf village. Uh, Shows up in the werewolf village. Uh, and she offers to remove the curse from the wolves so they can become men again. Human, men, whatever. Let's see, that's what okay, so there we go. Of course, her has been wanting to find a way to take over the wolf. And he recognizes Red and how he took care of Grandma. So, for the first plot point, so for the first plot point, Kurt listens to Red talk about Max and remembers how much Violet hates Red, and he decides to go find her. So now we're at the midpoint. He's asked for help becoming the leader of the pack. And Violet agrees as long as he dispatches with Red. However, Kurt realizes, since they're in enchanted lands, he could perhaps get Violet to create a spell that will actually strengthen the effects of the curse on him. So now I'm trying to figure out a method. I'm trying to figure out something Violet would want in exchange for this extra power. Any suggestions based on anything we've discussed? Just using that as a backstory, it'll come up with something. So we'll see if that works. Great setup. She wouldn't grant Kurt greater power unless she got something significant in return. There's a few possibilities she might want from Kurt in exchange for enhancing the werewolf curse. But oath of loyalty to her, not Max. Yeah, no, she likes Max, and so that's probably out. That doesn't mean he can't swear some sort of loyalty to her, but it's not a thing of her over Max. Absolute loyalty. A personal favor, steal, kill, or sabotage someone or something. Need an artifact, a magical creature, an ingredient from her own experiments, and she sends Kurt to retrieve it for her. If she's working against Max in secret, she might have Kurt assassinate a key figure without revealing why. She could. She actually. Okay, this created an idea or a thought in my head. Maybe she wants her own private army And that's not to say that she can't have some help from Max and all that stuff. This wouldn't necessarily be independent or keeps kept secret from Max, but maybe she makes a deal with him and says if the wolves will be her personal bodyguards, um, she'll strengthen them, and then um, now she has some bodyguards. I get someone coming against her. That could work. Pack to help her eliminate a rival. Yeah, but that's why she's offering to help him become leader, is by essentially getting rid of the rival. Rather than just, or apparently she wants to be able to command the werewolf pack directly in the future. She might weave a hidden control spell into the ritual, ensuring that creator steps on the line she can strip them with power or force obedience. Uh, okay. One is not an option because she essentially loves Max and isn't going to do anything against him. What if I make a video game called Fraud Simulator? Would it get banned from stores? Maybe. Um, One is not an option because she essentially loves Max and isn't going to do anything against him. Um, Two is a possibility. I would have to figure out what, but she's still not working against Max. So her loyalty is completely with Max. That's not even an issue. That's not even a thing. Three is something that's happening already, which is why she's going to put Kurt in charge. Four, uh, I'll have to think about because why will I have to think about it? This is part of a deal she's making, so she might have the extra uh, demand for his extra demand for more power. It might still work okay if Kurt doesn't realize that uh, if Kurt doesn't realize still might work okay if Kurt doesn't question how easy this second request is. So still thinking on this. I don't know if ChatGPT is gonna take that to mean that I got to think about it before interacting again. If Violet isn't working against Mac, then request needs to align with his goals or his her own ambitions within his role. Go with option two, retrieving something in could be a rare magical ingredient, forbidden spellbook, a relic, capturing or eliminating someone who poses feature threat to Max's role. That might still be good because when you're actually playing the game, you know, you're gonna have some fetch quests in there, and this is almost like a built-in fetch quest sort of. If you lean toward option four, hidden control, it could be she disguises control spell as part of the power enhancing ritual. Kurt believes he is getting exactly what he wants and later realizes that he's unknowingly placed himself under Violet's influence. Hmm. I could actually do both. I mean, this is just something that I'm thinking up on the spur of the moment. Of course, that's just how I work. Uh, where I start getting these interesting off ideas or whatever. So what if I combine the two, and she needs a specific item? I still have to think of what the item is, but she needs a specific item to be able to enhance the to be able to enhance the curse for him and the rest of the werewolves. Um, but in so doing, he basically sees like a control tour without knowing it. I don't know if that's too deep. I mean, it might not be too deep for the story in general. Even a lighthearted kind of comedy fantasy adventure like mine, it might not be too deep for that, but it might be too complex for because of everything that's going on. I'm not sure. Um, Almost leaning to combining the two. Uh, However, I'm worried a bit. I'm worried about adding more complexity with all the other stuff going on. Combining the two might work. If you notice, I don't know if you notice if you're watching. You're probably not watching. You're probably listening, if anything. But if you notice, you notice that the chat is struggling, and it could be just the time of day, but it could also be the fact that this conversation has been going on for like months now. It's a super long conversation, the whole conversation, and I mean just this one, not the other ones that are offshoots that use the memory and stuff. But Escape from the Wine Cellar was in January, and then, anyways, this particular conversation has been going on for a long time now, and so I still it kind of acts like it doesn't have a problem with that, but when I try to try to add on this conversation, it just chugs. It could just be that so many more people are on it, and that's why it's chugging right now. And I'm on the free tier, so I don't get priority because I'm not paying for it. Okay. Combine the two could work well if the control aspect remains subtle, something Kurt doesn't notice right away. That way, it doesn't add immediate complexity and could create tension down the line. Violet demands Kurt retrieve a magical artifact or ingredient, his main task. Unbeknownst to him, the spell that she uses on him subtly binds him to her influence. Not direct control, but maybe direct magical failsafe in case he ever disobeys her. This way, the deal will still feel transactional without overwhelming the plot. The artifact quest provides an immediate action step for Kurt, while the hidden control element plants seeds for a later power struggle. This would probably work. So I just have to figure out what the artifact or ingredient is. Kind of interesting thing to think about. I mean, I am making it quite complex, I guess, but just still seems like um still seems like it'll work. It's interesting. Oh, see, I thought it was done, and see how it's chugging along there. It's gonna try to come up with different items. I mean, I'm using ChatGPT to help me figure this out, but yeah. The next step is deciding what artifact or ingredient is. Here are some possibilities based on the setting. The heart of the Moonstone Beast, every creature tied to lunar magic. Okay. Attacking me uses strength and alter curses. Okay, the Black Fang and Venetia Werewolf. Forbidden alchemical elixir. Hidden deep in the abandoned Blizzard Tower, this potion enhances shape-shifting abilities. Extremely volatile. And I still want to make sure everything kind of ties together too. I don't want to just like be like some side quest, some uh silver curse binder chain. Leaves Violet wants to study it, but secretly helps her reinforce control. Like to brainstorm more options. Puts a little emoji there at the end. I'll have to think some more, I guess. It's kind of weird. Kurt went from being this sort of comic relief, comical thing, side character to becoming this main powered character. It's kind of interesting. Obviously, I don't want the whole story to be about him, but hmm. Mm, mm, mm. Hmm. Maybe it's something that Rottweiler has. Uh, Maybe it's the thing that allows him to be leader. In fact, maybe what it is when they were okay. So the I guess the idea, the basic idea would be in their ancient past to get bit by a wolf that was enchanted or whatever. So they became werewolves and for their generations. But oh, my chair is on top of my. What the heck? Hold on. I have this. My headphones are connected to this, and so it's kind of long the way I have it set up here. And so sometimes my chair rolls over the stupid cord, the cable or whatever. Anywho, so okay, so so this is what I was thinking. I was thinking whoever owns this artifact, maybe it's some sort of like a stick or a totem or something, some sort of uh, I don't know what you call it, but it's a symbol. It's their symbol of leadership that they have. This special stick, and um, and whoever owns that stick controls them. So yeah, let me close that. Oh, shoot! I'm not even. No, that's why I always forget. I always forget to turn to desktop. I guess I'm glad this is the early days and where most people aren't even watching what I'm doing, and instead are just listening because half the time I'm doing stuff and you can't even see what I'm doing because I didn't put the stupid desktop on the screen. But all I'm just doing is talking to ChatGPT. Um, okay, and I need to stop saying I know I gotta stop doing that. The reason I say that is because when I started going editing through the live streams, I just say it a lot, an awful lot, and I gotta. It's a kind of a bad habit, but so since I've been editing them out, I notice now every time that I use or now, and it's annoying to me, but I still use it out of habit. So okay, so he has the let's say he has something called the totem of leadership. I gotta look at what a totem is because I don't want to get into like spiritual witchcraft or whatever, you know. Fine. So totem, animal, plant, or natural object serving among certain tribal or traditional peoples as the emblem of a clan or family, sometimes revered as its founder, ancestor, or guardian. That's actually not a bad idea. A representation of such an object, a social group having a common affiliation to such an object. Hey, that's totally cool. That's totally works with, you know, uh, with my game. So he's got what they call the totem of leadership, and it's a stick, and it has this symbol on it that's kind of like um, I'm not copying, like American Indians or quote unquote Native Americans. Um, I'm not trying to copy that, but some aspects, you know, they're clans. They're not tribes though, but they're called clans, and they live in a quote unquote village, and just certain things, kind of like that. Thinking of ancient Vikings, I'm thinking of ancient Native Americans, um, that sort of thing. Tribal Americans, we could call them. Because they use the word tribe for they identify themselves as tribes still. But anyways, I never okay. So I'm a white guy, European descent, and American. So I don't identify as European American. I'm just American. But I always kind of bristled at the term Native American because the idea was that they were here before and before we were, and before Europeans were, and so. But I'm not Native American because I wasn't part of that. Um, my ancestors came as Europeans, but I was born in the U.S. I've lived in the U.S. all my life. I've only traveled outside of it for 4 years when I was um, a child, when my dad was stationed over in Belgium. So I could almost consider myself a Native American because I am native to here. I'm born here. I was raised here. I probably die here. So I always kind of bristled a little bit at the term Native American. Now, in our American history, they've been called Indians. They've called themselves Indians at certain times. I almost think Native American was a term coined by some woke white woman or something, and I get it. Indians from India, because they're actual Indians from the nation of India. Um, uh, the ones that we call Indians is because Columbus thought he had reached the West Indies at first, or he was trying to sail for the West Indies and then ended up over here. So that's why we called them Indians. Um, so for years and years and years and generations, we've called them American Indians. Uh, and even into the 20th century, late in the 20th century, we still call them that. They still, I don't think they had a problem. I don't think we really had a problem until we started having this liberal, like this liberal power structure, since the 60s or so. And so I'm sure none of you are interested in my thoughts on the term Native American. But I always I was cringe a little bit about the term Native American because technically I could be considered Native American. Now, I wasn't here before, my ancestors weren't here before the ones that lived here were before. And then the other issue is who was actually here first. Actually, there's been uh, some um, some discoveries citing that there might have been Vikings here in America before anybody else was, even before the Indians. And then there's the thing about the land bridge, which supposedly where where people came to North America from, a land bridge in Asia, basically, and crossed over. And then there is I was watching this thing. Now this is a Christian deal, Answers in Genesis, but there's this one guy, this scientist who's tracing ancestry through like DNA and stuff, and the conclusions he's come to is that all of us, including the Native Americans and us Europeans, were actually mostly descendant from Mongols. When the Mongol hordes came in to Europe and then they started intermingling, they started taking whatever European brides and stuff. Uh, they came and they did that. And then supposedly, also, that thing about the land bridge thing is somehow Mongols actually came in through the other side, came into America from there. So in essence, we're all Chinese. Well, not really, but we have the blood, the ancestral blood in here. So in a sense, nobody was here first, and nobody could be considered quote unquote native. And that's so. Whenever I want to say Indian, but then I forget that, well, they're actual Indians from India, which would be a proper name. And if I was to distinguish between Indians from India and then what we called Indians, I'd say American Indians are what we called Native Americans, and Indian Americans are Americans that descended from people that lived in India. Anyways, that's just all. I don't know. You know how I always go off on a tangent and I start, talking about crap and whatever. So just bear with me as I try to get back on track here. So we're gonna say the totem of leadership, which is a symbol of their leaders. So it's a little bit more complex than just them having a leader. So now I've actually created a thing, and so what they none of them realize is that this totem of leadership is what actually binds them to their leader. In other words, now there's the thing. Kurt is going against that. He wants to take control of the wolf pack. So maybe um, maybe the totem isn't as strong at keeping them together. Uh, Maybe it just only works a certain way or something. I haven't really thought of that, but I was going to say uh, that if he got this totem of leadership, uh, gave it to Violet, um, and Violet somehow used part of it in her spell to strengthen the curse that he's under, so he can become more powerful. Then that also secretly might bind him to her, to where he basically couldn't really go against her even if he wanted to. In fact, we could do a thing. Okay, so here's the thing, right? John in the end ends up uh struggling against Max, and they fight. They fight on the top of the scaffolding on top of the machine, and Max ends up disappearing. But we could have a thing where basically Kurt wants to make this werewolf so powerful that they can overtake even Max. And then this is where this little thread kind of comes into play. So what if she does this thing strengthen, and he gets ready to go after Max, and then she tells him you can't go after Max. And when he tries, of course the spell that she used to strengthen them uh, also wouldn't allow him to go against Max. And I don't know what it does to him. Maybe it kills him. Maybe it something happens, or maybe it just physically restrains him from ever being able to touch. Maybe it stops him from moving and until she releases him or something, some such thing like that. Okay, well, I sort of came up with something, but it has a flaw. So let's say Rottweiler has a totem of leadership. It's like a giant walking stick with a symbol meaning uh, meaning he's the leader. And maybe this totem has maybe it's laced with quicksilver. Some quicksilver embedded in it that essentially binds the werewolves to the leader. So in order to do this spell of strengthening, Violet needs this to be able to needs this. Actually, I just thought of another flaw. So there are two flaws. One is if this totem binds all the werewolves to the leader, then how could Kurt and some of his followers go against the leader? The second flaw is what did I think of? I just thought of another flaw here. Is this is some sort of binding magic that wouldn't necessarily have anything to do with the curse, and thus couldn't really strengthen them unless Violet just lies to Kurt about needing it. Okay. So I'm just saying, yeah, the one flaw is that if it binds people to the leader, then why would he go against the leader if he's bound by it too? So there's that, and then the second flaw, which is not exactly a flaw, is it's supposed to strengthen, but really it's just a thing for binding, so it wouldn't necessarily have anything to do with the strengthening part. They're good budgets to consider. Let's refine the totem leadership idea with it while addressing the flaws. How can Kurt and his followers rebel if the totem binds the werewolves? Power is not absolute. It enhances the leader's influence, but doesn't fully control the werewolves. Strong-willed individuals like Kurt can resist it, making rebellion possible. Two, the totem only affects the majority. The pack instinctively follows the leader who wields it, but that doesn't mean that everyone is loyal. Kurt might convince some werewolves to follow him in secret, while the totem keeps the rest under Rottweiler's rule. Okay, that could work, maybe. Fixing flaw number 2, the totem's connection to the curse. Violet lies to Kurt. She claims that Quicksilver embedded in the totem is a crucial ingredient in strengthening the curse. In reality, she just wants the totem to control the werewolves herself, or give Max a way to do so. The totem has a real connection to the curse. Maybe the first werewolves leader used this totem to bind the werewolves into a single pack, and it carries significant ancient magic that amplifies their power. By repurposing its energy, Violet could extract the essence and enhance Kurt's strength. Like I said, we're getting a little bit complex. It's not so much that it doesn't fit in with the story, because these are bad guys and they're dealing with spells and sorcery and all this stuff. But it's possible for what I'm envisioning, it might be too complex. I don't know, but both of those are actually not bad thought. The totem leadership is a symbol of power containing Quicksilver infused magic that connects the werewolves to their leader. Violet tells Kurt that stealing it is essential for his curse-enhancing spell, which in reality she just wants for her own purposes. Kurt, thinking this will make him stronger, goes after it, forcing a direct conversation with the Rottweiler. Once he claims the totem, he takes leadership, but Violet still holds the power over him through the spell she casts. This version worked better while keeping the totem of leadership relevant to the story. Kind of interesting, right? Once I get going, it works. I know ChatGPT is coming up with stuff, but I just need something to bounce ideas off of to start the juices flowing, and now it's kind of doing that. Um, okay, option 1, the totem's power is not absolute. Totem only affects the majority. Flaw number 2, the totem's connected to the curse. It's just a lie. Hmm. The totem could totally have a connection to the curse, though. I didn't think about it. Because it's the thing that happened in the past. And so you're gonna have a first leader. You're gonna have somebody that casts the spell on these guys to. I mean, it could be just that a wolf bit him, but it could also be that there was a witch or something, or a wizard or something that casts a spell on these, and then in order to let it perpetuate, um, maybe in the distant past they gave this totem to the leader, the first leader, and said he isn't ever to lose it, because if he ever lost it, uh, he would lose his power. But the reason has been kind of lost to time, and really the what the totem actually does is it doesn't uh, really bind them per se, but what it does is it keeps them werewolves. In other words, if they didn't have it, they'd start turning back. Maybe that's the deal. Maybe they would be completely free of the curse totally if as long as they have it, and maybe she can somehow enhance its power, but thereby also enhancing her control. Let's think. No, because if he gives her the totem, then they all start turning back into men. Then it's kind of useless as far as that goes. I mean, I can still use this, but I have to think of something different that would fit still. Um, let's think here. Okay, so maybe the idea is that they can't, not that even if it's lost, uh, if it's lost, they may never be able to turn back. If it's lost, uh, also that means that it's lost for other people, and if they find it, they can control the werewolves through that. And that one kind of work either way because the person that cursed them in the first place wouldn't give them something that they could use to actually get it undone, unraveled. They actually need some external force to unravel it for them. So there's still that. So that's kind of out. Uh, hmm. Totem has real connection to curse. I'm almost there. I gotta figure this out. Almost there. It's like I almost got it. It's like something's on the tip of your tongue, basically. So hmm, I'll have to think for a moment. Let's see. Maybe what happens. Totem's power is not absolute. There could be a thing where um I don't know. I was gonna say there could be a thing where it where the power of it wears off over time, and about now when it's at its weakest. And it's at its weakest because before nobody ever challenged the leader with the totem, but now its power is diminished. That would kind of work in favor. I'm thinking maybe the totem uh, is wearing off after several generations, and so that's how come you can have dissenting werewolves. You can have some dissenting werewolves. Um, maybe maybe Violet can enhance the werewolf's ability regardless, and so she still kind of lies to Kurt, but instead restores the totem's ability to bind the werewolves to whomever possesses the totem. This way, Kurt doesn't realize that he's giving her ultimate authority over them. That sounds like not a bad idea, actually. See, I don't know if you can tell it, if you're able to actually watch some of this, and if you're watching and I have the desktop up so you can see it, how I use ChatGPT. I'm not really using it. Not saying that some of the ideas didn't come from ChatGPT, but I'm mostly not using it like directly. I'm just using it as a way to refine, to come up with more ideas and stuff. This is actually, to me, is a really good use for AI anyways. So it works perfectly. It allows Kurt to believe he's gaining greater power, while in reality he's handing total control of the werewolves to Violet, or Max. The totem's gradual weakening explains why the werewolves have the ability to revile, and its restoration makes its major power shift without Kurt realizing it. This probably does it. See, now I have something extra for the main plot to deal with. You can almost think of this as a subplot in itself, but it's not really a subplot. It's just a part of the main plot. So now, uh, let's go back to my deal here. I'll talk to ChatGPT in a second, but he's gonna go talk to her. Uh, and so the midpoint is when he makes the deal with her, right? In fact, I hesitate to put all of this in the midpoint, but this is still all part of the midpoint. It's all one thing. Um, Kurt talks to Violet. Uh, talks Violet into letting into helping him become leader of the pack. Violet makes a deal that if he disposes of red, she will do this for him. He then, let's see, where does he hear about the curse though? Oh, freeing the curse. He then mentions how Red is going to get Max to free them of the curse that turned them into werewolves in the first place. And then states how he doesn't want to be free from this curse, but instead states how he doesn't want to be free from this curse, but instead wants to strengthen it and wants the werewolves under his leadership to be the most powerful creatures in Enchanted Lands. She agrees, but only if he brings her the totem of leadership, because she needs it to okay, so what she claims? She claims that to strengthen, enhance the curses abilities, power. She only agrees, but only if he brings the totem, because she claims she needs it to enhance the curse's power. Kurt, a bit reluctant to hand her the symbol of their power, eventually gives in. Okay, this is a lot of words for the midpoint, but it's really part of the same midpoint. Or, okay, so there's two ways I can go about this. One is plot point one is when he talks to her, he tells her he wants to become leader, and then she says only if he disposes of Red. So then the midpoint is when he actually goes and disposes of Red, and somehow he brings her back, maybe her hood or something. He brings her back a symbol showing that he did so. And then she says, "Okay, but now in order to enhance this, that then she needs the totem of leadership." That could be the midpoint here, which he has to go back and steal it. Plot point two. And the climax and resolution has to do with that. Okay. Actually makes more sense. Okay. I don't strictly need to input this into ChatGPT, but I'm thinking I might, and all it might do is just like praise me, like, oh, it fits perfectly, it's perfect, it's great, like it always does. But okay. Control C. So this is what I have written for the midpoint, but something occurred. So this is B, but something. Yeah, let's do what, shift enter, but something occurred to me as far as plot points go. I wanted to know your thoughts first before before telling you my other idea. Kurt would like to stand over the totem is a great tension point. If he hesitates too much, Violet might sweeten the deal or manipulate him further, perhaps suddenly playing his ego appears. What does Kurt believe he's getting in return? Does he think he's just using the totem separately for the spell, or does he assume that because he's the leader, the werewolves will still obey him no matter what? Does he suspect Violet is deceiving him? If not, could there be a way he finds out too late? Now, what's your other idea? Okay. Well, I did tell you what I had for plot point 1, right? Because I think I did. I just wanted to repeat. You mentioned Kurt listens to Red talk about Max, how he plans to remove the werewolf curse. He remembers how much Violet hates Red and decides to go find her. I'm going to move part of the... So the midpoint seemed like too many lines. That is actions. And plot point 1 is a bit weak. Going to find her, yes, but that doesn't really push the story forward or spin it in a different direction. So I was thinking of... Actually, it's what I had thought earlier, adding this thing about the taking the power, enhancing the power. I was going to add it, and so this is what I was going to do in the first place, so I'm probably going back to that. Putting the original thought of dispatching with Red in order to gain control of the pack. Into plot point 1. So he finds Violet, asks her to make him leader. Violet could be the other way around. Violet could say, no, I guess he's doing it. So he finds Violet and tells her he can get rid of Red if she can enhance. So he finds Violet and mentions the curse and what Red's plans are, and then says he can dispatch of Red if Violet can make him leader of the pack. So he goes to do that, and at the midpoint returns with proof of Red being gone, which she then decides to tell him in the midpoint that she needs the totem of leadership in order to complete the spell to enhance him and his pack. And actually, I could have just done this without bringing ChatGPT into it, but sometimes ChatGPT comes up with ideas I didn't think about. You know, sometimes people, even with people, do the same thing. They come up with ideas that you didn't think about before. You didn't really, cotton on to. Notice how long it's taken for this to reply here. It's taken quite a bit of time here. Okay. Looks like I'm making some progress here with my last character. Vision strengthens the turning points in Kurt's story. Plot point 2 now is a stronger cause and effect chain. Kurt sets his plan in motion by offering to eliminate Red in exchange for leadership. The midpoint now shifts the stakes. Just as Kurt thinks he's won, Violet raises the bar, forcing him to steal the totem of leadership. And actually, that's, I think, one of those things, if you read about writing screenplays, I know this is going to be for a game. I totally get it. So, don't be annoyed when I keep talking about writing screenplays and stuff. I liked movies a lot. I read stuff about writing screenplays. I was thinking maybe I had to write a screenplay at some point. Games, they kind of have some similar stuff. They don't have a predefined screenplay necessarily, but they have, the game design documents are, some of them can be like, especially if they're dialogue or story heavy, they're going to have some sort of script or screenplay or of some sort. So this is just the way I'm constructing my story, basically. So, anyways, this you might say is something that you'd read in books about writing screenplays. How it would be more. It does actually like on your hero, you want to raise the stakes. So we're gonna assume that the hero of the story is Kurt himself. In fact, Kurt is not going to. How do we say it? Actually, I thought I was going to have a deal where he tries to fight. He tries to go after Max at some point, and she stops him. But other than that, he gets everything that he wants, and um, this still follows a kind of a decent screenplay format. Because not only do the turning points raise the stakes, the plot points raise the stakes, but they also kind of turn it into a new direction. So in the first half of Kurt's story, uh, he basically just wants control of the Wolf Pack, and he also doesn't really like the idea of losing his powers as a werewolf. And then that's when he decides he's going to go find somebody that helps him. And of course, he thought of Violet because they had a past, and he's been in Enchanted Lands. He's long enough to know what that past is. And then, just like I said, it raises the stakes. So let's change this a little bit. I still have a struggle with the subplot probably, but who knows? Maybe I can get that done today too sometime. I mean, it's almost 3 o'clock. Maybe Dad's up by now, and I can make some coffee. Uh, let's just say this a little bit differently. Kurt remembers the rivalry between Red and Violet, and so he seeks out Violet to ask her to help him become the leader of the pack. Now, the thing I was saying about the way the totem worked, where over the generations it's weakened and she has to re-strengthen it and stuff. When I'm writing this, I'm thinking I don't even need that. That's basically kind of a lore or kind of a backstory. So if there's ever a backstory written, that would probably be part of it. In fact, maybe I should put that in a note here. Okay. I'll do that one with the totem leadership. Not until then. Help him become leader of the pack. Which she agrees. Yeah. Become leader of the pack, which she agrees. Leader of the pack, which she agrees. If he eliminates red. Okay. Maybe I should just do a short recording here of some of this stuff I'm typing in here for the update. Anyways, Kurt remembers the rivalry between Red and Violet, so he seeks out Violet to ask her to help him become leader of the pack, which he agrees if he eliminates Red. Okay, midpoint. Okay. Kurt eliminates Red. And then brings back a proof in the form of her riding hood. Form of her riding hood. To Violet. Okay. Let me think for a second. Kurt returns to the pack, to the village, whatever. Just in time to participate in the discussion about joining Max's army in order to have the curse removed. Okay. Kermit eliminates Red and brings back the proof in the form of her riding hood to Violet. And then he mentions mentions the talk of eliminating the curse. But since he likes being a werewolf so much, if she could also enhance his abilities and the rest of his plans, the rest of his people. She thinks for a moment and then says, in order to do this thing, Kurt must bring back the totem of leadership. Kurt reluctantly agrees and heads back to the village. Plot point 2. Kurt manages to confront I don't know if he steals or if he confronts it. He's more likely to steal. Kurt pretends to agree with pretends to finally decide to agree with Rottweiler. And when he's not looking, yeah, that'd be kind of gruesome, so I'm gonna have to use something like he knocks him over the head or something. Kurt pretends to finally agree with Rottweiler when he's not looking, let's see. Smacks. Knocks him out with a spear handle. He then grabs the totem of leadership and returns to Violet. Okay. And let's see something here. I need to check something. Five minutes. Okay. All right. Climax. Violet casts a spell on Kurt with the totem with the totem while holding the totem of leadership. And Kurt visibly changes, seems to grow bigger, more muscular, and more imposing. Violet then hands the totem back and doesn't tell him that the totem bounds him and his wolves to her. Resolution. Kurt comes back and claims leadership along with the okay, Kurt comes back and claims leadership. with totem in hand. And tells them that they're going to remain this way in enhanced form. I guess he could just come back and claim leadership. As every werewolf in the village bows to him. Okay. That's good. Actually, I like that. That's good. I don't know. There might be too many words here in the midpoint, but it's still the one thing. He brings back the hood of Red, and then he asks her if she can up his powers, and she agrees, and then says he must bring back the totem of leadership. Kurt doesn't really want to do that because it's a symbol of their leadership, and it shouldn't be out of their hands or their eyes for any second. But he does it because his want for power is more than any qualms he had about turning over the totem. But to his surprise, she doesn't actually keep the totem. She gives it back to him. A little realizing what he did was he gave her control when she performed the spell. She casts a spell, and then he changes, and then hands it back, and then he comes back and he becomes leader of the werewolf pack. They all decide to go ahead and join Max's army anyway. So part of the deal is that they're going to become part of Max's army regardless. So now there's no Red, and okay, so now I kind of still need a subplot. This is the main plot here. Okay, let's stop that recording. I'll have to do a little bit of editing in that, I guess. I'll probably be able to edit that pretty easy because I'll do the sentences and then plus I'm gonna recap anyways when I'm done for today. Okay. Okay, so now back to the subplot. What can I do about that in regards to this new main plot? I'm still unsure what to do about it. I mean, I could make it where he raises the wolves against Rottweiler, but that only goes for half of the story here. We need to subplot that complements it without overwhelming its primary goal. Should add tension or obstacles to this rise to power. Maybe, but that should be in the main plot, right? Show a different aspect of his character, introduce complications that could pay off later. Subplot ideas. I hit the plan limit for free GPT 4.0. Oh, is it this time not going to switch models? Because it did that before and it switched like normal. I type in the message, I'd hit enter. In fact, it has a little voice thing down here. So let's see here. Let's see if it'll let me. I'll have to read this first. Undermining Rottweiler from the shadows strengthens the main plot. Before you can take the pack, weakens Rottweiler, bringing him for a failed raid or making him look incompetent. That would be in the first half. See your dealings with another faction. Strike a second secret deal. Rogue Witch, Vampire Lord. His great power could backfire later if new alliance expects something in return. Personal rival. Loyalist from the pack suspects Kurt is up to something, possibly a beta Wulf who is loyal to Rottweiler. The character could try to expose Kurt's plans, forcing him to either manipulate Frame or after eliminating Red, Kurt starts to feel uneasy, like someone's watching him or that Violet might betray him. Maybe he tries to secure another source of magic in case Violet turns on him, which could lead to featured conflict. If you want a direct tie in the main plot, number 1. If you want featured problems, number 2. If you want more internal tension within the werewolves, number 3. Well, we have essentially 2 goals in the main plot. The first was just to get control. The second was to enhance the pack's abilities. So maybe the subplot should also have 2 goals. The first being undermining Rottweiler in the first half, and then going against this other subordinate to Rottweiler. This other subordinate to Rottweiler before he confronts Rottweiler himself. It's like intrigue upon intrigue, and this makes kind of for an interesting story, especially if it was a serious like adventure novel, or but maybe it's a little too bit much for a movie, maybe because of all the intrigue, but something other than this game, although I'll still probably put it in here. The nature of it, though, having all the characters and stuff, means that I won't have time to give enough attention to this particular story, to maybe overwhelm the main story. So maybe that's a good thing. It wouldn't be a good thing in a story where the sole story is what I'm looking at, but with this thing with having all these other different things, maybe things being a little bit weak doesn't really hurt anything. Before he confronts Riley himself, enter. See, yeah, it's not letting me do it now. Saying you hit the free plan. You need GPT-40 to continue this chat because there's an attachment. Your limit resets after 622. See, I mean, before, okay, so you could, originally, you could switch back to whatever ChatGPT 3.5 back, like last year or something, once your free thing was up. Then it stopped letting me do it. Like now, like it says I need another chat because there's an attachment. It could get rid of the attachment. I could get rid of the attachment. That's a thought here. Do something here. Let's copy and let's see if settings, general personalization, data controls. Speech. Profile. connect with users of your GPTs. Interesting. Connected apps. Huh. Close. Show changes, previous version. Copy. I wonder if there's a way to get rid of this. Huh. Okay, well, I can probably do this on my own anyways, because I've already kind of figured out that's what I want to do. This subplot kind of mirrors the main plot. So in the first half, up until the point of where he goes to, up until the point that he actually eliminates Red, you can think of this little mini story here. The point where he eliminates Red, he's trying to stir up dissent within the other werewolves, and he's actually successful. And the midpoint is also the midpoint of the subplot, because he has to actually go to Red, and then I also have to kind of introduce an NPC character in here. Not really sure how to do that, because I kind of did it. I already did that in the plot outline. Let me think. Let's see. Kurt doesn't like when Kurt hears that Red is offering to remove the curse from the werewolves. He doesn't like that idea because he likes the power that comes with being a werewolf. So he decides he wants to take over as leader, because whoever has the totem of leadership can control the others. Okay. So he decides to stir them up by reminding them of Red's relationship. Let's see. Okay, so if I'm actually, I don't want to put any of this stuff in here. Kurt wants to stay a werewolf, so he stirs up a faction of the werewolves against Rottweiler. Then, when he eliminates Red, he decides he wants to become more powerful. Wants to become more powerful and makes a deal with Violet, where upon returning to get the totem of leadership, is stopped by. I was gonna call Kurt Biter, but maybe I should have Biter called Biter. Maybe he shouldn't be called Biter though. Maybe he's some sort of suck-up wolf, and I should give him some sort of shameful name, like Wusspuss. That sounds dumb. Uh, by Rottweiler's #2. Rottweiler's second in command. What's a good name for a What's a good name for a cowardly werewolf? Not cowardly. Here, I'll just. What is a good name for a second in command? No, third. It'd be a third in command. Wouldn't be third, not second, because really Kurt is the second in command. Grim. Grim's not a bad idea. Fenwick. Ashford. Draven. Thorn. Hmm. Grim or Thorn? Hmm. I like either Grim or Thorn. Hmm. He's going to be a more or less inconsequential NPC, but is still an opposition for Kurt. He wants to take control of the werewolves. He wants to take control of the werewolves. Give me a sense of potential alien overshadowing both Grim and Thorn work well. If you want something so slightly more mysterious. Thorn, maybe Thorn. Okay, this is an instance where I'm actually using ChatGPT's suggestion. I like it, so name Thorn. Okay, we'll call him Thorn. Thorny. A fight occurs with Kurt in pair of Thorn, and then having to whereby he goes after the totem. Okay. So first, the getting the totem. He's going to be fighting. Well, actually, he's not going to fight. He's going to fight Thorn, but he's not going to fight Rottweiler. In fact, Rottweiler, he's actually going to knock on the head. I think. Alrighty. Subplot outline. And some of these are going to mirror the main plot, just because they start and end at the same time. Red shows up like she keeps doing, and promises to remove the curse of the werewolf from the village. This causes Kurt to audibly object where there is an argument between him and Rottweiler's third in command, Thorn. Okay. So, let's go back to Red's story real quick. So the midpoint is where Red gets Max to demonstrate the curse. So, but before that happens here, and I'll have to play this really carefully because there could be a chance that I could put events out of order slightly because these are tightly coupled. Really, they should be a little bit more loosely coupled, but This is kind of what the story is. So I have to be careful of where I put what, where, kind of thing. Promise to remove the curse of the werewolf from the village. This causes Kurt to audibly object. There's an argument between him and Rottweiler's third in command, Thorn. One. Kurt goes to each of the clans. Well, clans. And suggests that and reminds them of what Red had done to them and their families, and that she shouldn't be trusted. He also emphasizes the fact that he likes being a werewolf. He likes the power of being able to stop anyone and the fact that everyone is afraid of them. Midpoint. So midpoint is when he actually goes to Violet. Let's see. What's the midpoint here? Oh, that's when he eliminates Red. Okay. So somewhere in between there, plot point 1 of his main plot happens. He goes to Red in plot point 1, but that's after this plot point 1, and then the main plot point 1 goes. The midpoint here is going to be in between okay. This midpoint in here is going to be in between this plot point 1 and this midpoint. Before he eliminates Red, he comes back to the village. Okay. After coming back from the meeting with Violet, Thorn, he finds Thorn has already won a number of the clans to his side. Maybe they have a battle. They obviously have a battle when he comes back, but maybe this is like a ceremonial battle. Maybe this is not like the final one is going to be like the snow holds barred. He's going to get mad at him and he's going to like kill him basically. And I have to be careful how I do that too, because I still don't want this to be super heavy and super dark and all that. And you got to keep in mind that there's a bunch of other characters and there's a whole bunch more story surrounding this, and so this can't be just like the main thing of the story. This is just contributing to the main plot. Uh, Red is being held in a hut or house, whatever. While all the plans are discussing matter. Kurt decides he wants to... Shoot, maybe Kurt's the third in command, and he wants to become second in command, so he has to do this. He does this thing. That's a thought. To change a bunch of stuff, but it's still a thought. Anyways. Kurt decides to... Kurt is really angry and decides challenge Thorn. In a ceremonial battle. With padded staffs. I just thinking of this at the top of my head. Okay. I'm putting too much into this here. Because we have a midpoint here. See, when he comes back, so the first thing he goes and he goes and finds Violet. Let's see, I have to kind of rethink this. So basically, he goes and he's trying to stir up the wolves to his side, and saying that we don't want to turn back into humans. We like the way we are, and don't forget who Red is and all this stuff. And so he gets the number to his side. And then he goes to meet with Violet, and she says she wants Red, and so she wants Red eliminated. So he comes back, and then he still has to kind of fight with them and get more people to his side. He wants the whole village to be on his side. Let's see, and then he ends up dispatching of Red. Then brings it back, and then Violet tells him he's got to go and now bring back the totem of leadership. And when he goes back, Thorn is there to stop him from trying to get to the. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but he knows he's opposing him, and he's going to stop him from going towards Rottweiler's tent or his hut. And okay. Let's change these here completely. I don't know if I'm doing... Oh, I was doing colons instead of periods. I often do that quite a bit, where I change up what I'm using, whatever format and stuff. Okay, so this happens in between here. So basically, this is going to be about the time he goes and makes a deal with Violet, and then comes back. After making a deal with Violet to eliminate Red, Kurt comes back to find that Thorn has already talked to the clans and gets most of them to go along with the deal Rottweiler has set up. Kurt and Thorn have an argument which almost comes to blows when Kurt and Thorn have an argument which almost comes to blows when Rottweiler comes out of his hut and claims they will take the deal. Midpoint. Kurt stomps out claiming he's going to become leader and just wait. And then meets with Violet, giving her the proof of Red's demise. I haven't decided whether or not you're going to see the demise or whether it's going to be like implied, like maybe she could still be alive somehow, some way, but you don't know for sure. I'm not sure I'm going to do that just yet. Meets Violet, giving the proof of its demise. When she gives him the second task of gaining the totem of leadership. Point 2. Kurt comes back. This time, he's about ready to go to sneak into Rottweiler's hut when he's stopped by Thorn. And Thorn fight until Thorn is close to dead. Close to dead. Not close to death, close to dead. As Thorn is laying, bleeding and out of breath, Kurt goes into Rottweiler heads towards Rottweiler's hut. Okay, climax. Rott is asleep on his cot as Kurt scans the inside of the tent, noting the totem in a corner. I said tent, I should say hut. Could be a tent, could be a hut, could be a something else. Noting the totem in a corner. He then grabs a heavy, let's say bottle, and hits the sleeping Rottweiler on the head, knocking him unconscious, if not dead. And we're not necessarily saying that he's dead, but he was sleeping already, and then he hits him over the head, and so he's not getting up. And I don't know, maybe I'll find some way of softening that too, or changing it a little bit later or something. Who knows? Noting that totem in the corner. He grabs the totem and then cuts through the back of the hut and heads to meet Violet. I don't even know where he's meeting her at, but he's meeting her somewhere. And heads to meet Violet. Religion. When Kurt comes back, the werewolves are generally all changed. Even, okay, we'll say they're not dead. Even Rottweiler and Thorn are in a decent state. All the wolves bow to Kurt as the new leader. Okay, that's great. Finally got it done. Okay. Of course, I still have to turn. I already did some of Zanzibar's. I'm not sure if I did all of his stuff. I already did some of Zanzibar's plot points, but I still need to put Red and Kurt's stories into the main plot outline. And then when I've done all that, then I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna streamline everything. I'm gonna see if I can make sure that all of their subplots are actually in there, because that's what I had planned to do in the first place, anyways. In fact, they were actually going to be the main plots were going to be probably cutscenes, probably small cutscenes, like really tiny, and then the subplot points would be in-game animations or dialogues. They wouldn't be cutscenes per se, but they'd be little things that happened in engine, so to speak. Not that it wouldn't all be in engine, anyways. What I'm saying is like under direct control, like you go and do something and then it shows a little animation, that sort of thing. And they were even going to be even tinier, so that you're not spending too much time watching cutscenes. As much as I love watching the cutscenes, I know that not everybody, even the ones that play story-based games, are into cutscenes like I am. So I'm gonna try to make sure to minimize them, even though they're not gone. Here comes back loaders. Okay. So yeah, it looks like shoot, it almost looks like it's not quite 4 o'clock, and I realized that I started like way late, like it was like 1:15 or something. Actually, let's see how long the stream has been going. Stream has been going for, well, it says 3:07, but that, I woke up at 1:15 or something. So yeah, when did I say I woke up? If it's 1:15 to now, um, I didn't barely get. Uh, yeah, it was 1:15. It was exactly 1:15. 1:15 to 2:15 is an hour. To 3:15 is 2 hours. To 3:40 is 3 hours and 20 minutes or something. Okay. Arguably, uh, um, arguably I could spend more time, but I feel like since I've hit this little milestone, then instead of having a break right now, I am just going to cut the stream short early. Now, I may or may not do a secret stream tonight, but that's only because I'm still working on editing these updates. So um, I'm not going to be doing the secret streams for actual game development, at least for a while. Maybe not until I'm caught up. When I'm finally caught up, maybe I'll do these extras so I can get some extra time in on making the game later on sometime. Anyways, so yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day a little bit early. I know I started a little bit later and I ending a little bit earlier, but I feel like I've made a good progress here. It's only one character. It's just basically just Kurt that we got done today, but we're completely done with his story, and I think I like how it turned out. Hopefully, it's not going to overshadow the other ones because it feels like I spent more time on this than I did on the other ones. And the other ones were done over time. They were done a long time ago, and so I probably didn't put as much thought into them. Although I'll probably put some more thought into some of the other characters because they do have their own subplots, and I might find a way of sticking those in there too, just to make it fuller. I mean, the game might be super long, and I might have to do it in parts or something. I haven't really decided yet. Just I'm just gonna make it, and then we'll see how it turns out. So thank you for watching, and I'll probably see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be starting to integrate these plots and subplots into the main plot outline. The one that I'm actually editing on GitHub instead of on in a file. But so yeah, so I should be working on the main thing tomorrow. I don't know how much I'll get done tomorrow. I might get done with all of those plot points because all they are is just I'm slipping the plot points in where kind of it makes sense, and then when I'm completely done inserting everything I want to in there, then I'll do the streamlining process, which basically pares it down to just to the events that happens when they happen. So then I can make a thing off of that. Anyways, thanks again, and here, let me see here. Yeah, thanks again, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.